showtime.
Fire and water, earth and the sky, mysteries surround us, legends never die. We're here for the moment, lost in time. I can hear them call, they're locked within the crystal ball.
Alright, hello everybody, this is the D-Rock900 here, and welcome to my very first episode of the, world hopping for legendary Pokemon. Now, things are going to be a little bit differently, because you are not usually seeing me in the corner like you usually do. Instead, you will be pretty much just seeing nothing but gameplay footage without me giving much commentary into it, unless we're going after legendary Pokemon themselves. So, to point things out, in my world hopping videos, part 1, 2, 3, and 4, I have already encountered a handful of legendary Pokemon as it is, with the inclusion of 2 Ultra Beasts. If you are interested in seeing any of those, you can find them in the link in the description below, so you can be more familiarized with the Pokemon that I've already encountered. But, no more of that. On with the show. I'm going after world Pokemon, well, legendary Pokemon from certain worlds, and we'll get into it. So, before I go any further, I've decided that I'm going to be taking on the Pokemon in the, oh, what am I thinking of? In the Rocky Worlds, because that's the one we're going to need less of the Pokemon from the version exclusives. Because that way I'll be able to make it easier for you guys and for your viewing pleasures. So, without any further ado, let's begin by going through some worlds. And I'll cut to each time when I find a new legendary Pokemon, and we will go from there, alright? So, let's get started. Alright, this one's actually going to be an accidental exception, I guess. Because we have an encounter of a Pokemon that can be found out here with an extraordinary presence. Nice. And as you saw from the beginning of the recording, I went ahead and saved. And I think for this case, I'll go ahead and swap out. Well, kind of switch things up a little bit. Yeah, that'll be fine. So, here we go. They say that there is an alien that roams around the planet of Mars, collecting metal from all around the universe, transforming it into a intellectual being that is set to feast off of any and all metal, and dare those that approach it better beware! Registeel is one of the more balanced out members that you'll be finding out of any other group. When we encounter it, level 60, pure steel type, clear body for the ability, flash cannon, hammer arm, lock on, zap cannon. Registeel, despite what you think at first glance, is actually the more balanced out member of the legendary golems. Or, I guess in this case, the legendary titans, excuse me. They went through so many names, it's just not even funny at this point. Bringing this down as a Pokemon. As I said, this is one of the most balanced out members of the team with base 150 on both this defense and special defense stat. Has a lot of resistances as well, because hence it being a part steel type. But what really makes this thing really good is the fact that if you plan on using this for a post-game team, try looking at some moves that I can learn through tutoring. You actually might be pretty interested in to find out what moves that I can learn. Probably the best one that I would recommend is pretty much either Thunder Punch, Stomping Tantrum, or Iron Head. That's pretty much the best things that I can say about this Pokemon in a nutshell. Heck, it can even learn Explosion explosion through tutoring as well if you want to get desperate. But other than that, it's here if you want it. The only real negative is that it's slow and it can be hard to master if you don't know how to use it. So there's your warning on that. Alright. So we got no time to waste. Let's see. Catch us some legendary Pokemon, and then we'll carry on our way. Of course, when I say it like that, don't expect it to be easy. My ultimate goal is to try to maybe potentially break down some of these video clips as much as possible, so I can potentially not have you guys watching for like hours and hours on hand just to watch me catch Pokemon that is practically a fail at each time. So, fortunately, I have a bit of a plan. I'm only going to be breaking down in the separate parts. And if I ever need to replenish, I'll just go back and do double R in the process. So as I said from before, I don't think I ever talked about this, but there is a grand total of 37 legendary Pokemon. I will not be catching them all because the majority of them are through exclusive versions. Registeel here can be found in both versions, but one Pokemon is not in both versions. I'll get into that when we eventually get into it, but this is what we're going to be seeing for the time being, so hopefully we'll make some progress later on down the road. Neat! Didn't take me long at all. It just took me like maybe a few, I think 3 or 4 balls in to catch this thing, which is really nice. I don't consider this one to be the hardest to catch on the legendary golems. Or I guess, like I said, golems, titans, they went through many changes with these Pokemon over the course of the years, so yeah, I'm gonna go and try to get back into getting into the Rocky Worlds, because that's wonderful where the Pokemon that are usually for version exclusives it will be easier to get to. So I guess while I'm also doing this, I actually never really finished doing this, I guess. If you ever want to switch it up with the motion controls with 3DS, and just switch it over to the thumbnail from right here, I think you need to go back to the Ultra Megapolis and to have them fix it for you. So, doesn't matter. Let's just move on, shall we? Okay. I guess I'm kind of breaking my own promise a little bit, but given over what's going on, I might as well just take it as they come. So, we're in the cliff world, I think that's what they call it. Come on. Get these better than how they were, buddy. There we go. Oh. Oops, I do not want my passport. I'm not traveling anywhere. So let's see here. I guess I should take this time to correct myself. Back at the Game Freak Institute, there was an Ether employee that you could talk to change your motion controls into moving with your D-pad from here. I wanted to make that quick correction, so let's get into it. They say that there is a Pokemon that is said to have brought back the ones that has fallen from a terrible incident from that of the burned tower in Ecutech City. It is said that this Pokemon has flapped its wings, presented a rainbow feather, and bringing life into those that were now dubbed the Legendary Beasts. Ho-Oh! Is a prime candidate of a Pokemon that is really cool but awkward to face off against. When you encounter it, level 60, Fire Flying type, pressure for the ability, holding the signature item known as the Sacred Ash. It'll be coming armed with the moves, Burn Up, Extra Century, Ancient Power, and its signature move, or I guess used to be signature move, Sacred Fire. I have a bit of a soft spot for this Pokemon. Not only is it one of my personal favorite Fire Flying types, but this is a Fire Flying type that even puts some of the other ones to shame. Not all of them, but definitely a majority of them. That move of his Sacred Fire is a 100 power, 95 accuracy, physical fire type move that has a 50% chance of leaving its opponent to burn. A very nice move indeed, but it also will guarantee that of being defrosted in the process. Not quite sure why that would be the case, but I choose not to question it. Bringing this down as a Pokemon, the best thing that what this thing is going for is being a physically offensive special wall. Not much else really needs to be said about it. The big thing to really be careful with is that it has a major weakness to rock. The other weaknesses are, of course, water and electric. If you manage to get by all of that, you will have probably one of the best legendary physical, well, I guess in this case, special walls in the game, but I'm mostly relying on that over attack. And Sacred Fire will definitely do the job well. It is very good, but it definitely has its drawbacks. Disturb not the harmony of fire, ice, or lightning, lest these titans wreak destruction upon the world in which they clash. Bring together all three, their treasures combined, tame the beast of the sea, Lugia! Only found on Ultra Moon. Oh, okay, found on Ultra Sun, forgot to mention that from before, but no more! Lugia is basically the opposite into that of Ho-Oh in a way, being a good special wall, but meant to be a really good physical defensive Pokemon. When you encounter it in Ultra Moon, and I should take this time to mention that it is also found in the Water World, level 60, Psychic Flying type, pressure for the ability, Skill Swamp, Extra Century, Ancient Power, and its signature move, Aero Blast. This is a 100 power, 95 accuracy, special flying type move, and has a high chance of leaving a critical hit. This is widely regarded as probably one of the most overpowered flying type moves that you will find. I'm a little bit disappointed in that over the course of when it first used Aero Blast throughout the anime, it kind of turned into a beam, but in other cases, it kind of looks like it's that of a powerful raging windstorm. I never really liked it that much. I don't know why. But bringing it down into a Pokemon as it is very good. Multi-scale is actually not a bad hidden ability, but you won't be getting it at all at this point. But other than that, Lugia is a phenomenal Pokemon. It is one of my personal favorites. Has a really nice legend behind it, like you heard from the beginning of that, but it's here if you want it. It's an Ultra Moon. It is a very good Pokemon that I would recommend. So I went and purchased me some more balls because I think I'm probably going to need them. But who knows? Maybe I might get lucky with them. And, oh, Extra Sensory. This is a very awkward kind of psychic type move. I don't know why this is the case, but I choose not to question it at this point. I probably should have switched over to a more especially offensive Pokemon. But who knows? We seem to be doing okay so far. And wow, it's getting flinched though. I just hope I don't get a critical hit at this point. Oh, Ancient Power. Okay, don't crit, please. Thank you. Alright. Here we go. Alright, I've been getting lucky with these. Hardly been taking any time at all throughout these encounters. I'm actually kind of surprised on that, personally. So, I guess with that, we caught Ho-Oh, and we also got the Sacred Ash. So, on to the next Pokemon. But first, we should probably heal. Okay, we are back once again. Who would have seen this come? Whoa. Okay, this is gonna get a little bit... Okay, I actually kinda shot myself in the foot a bit because I actually said to myself that I was going to heal up, but I actually never did. Okay, so the version exclusion here for this Pokemon is gonna be a little bit unusual. So instead, I'm actually going to be including this with another Pokemon that I wish one was in both versions, but not the case. So, oops. So I'll switch to Disaster for this one. And then, let's get into it. From the depths of a volcano lies a Pokemon that is beyond that of comprehending its control of the power. It is said that this thing can breathe fire so powerful it can melt many different forms of form of armor and make it a part of its own body. Heatran is definitely a Pokemon of many gimmicks, and I would really like to say, when you encounter it, level 60, Fire Steel type, Flash Fire for the ability, armed with the moves, Crunch, Scary Face, Lava Plume, Fire Spin. This is a Pokemon that you really do not want to piss off, especially since if you want him to face off against a Pokemon that knows how to not only get the job done, but it has the moves and stats to back it up. What really makes this thing so dangerously powerful is the fact that it'll eventually learn its signature move, Magma Storm. This is a 100 power, 75 accuracy, special fire type move that will trap it in a firestorm for 2 to 5 turns. So basically, this is a more powerful version of Fire Spin. Bringing this down, like I said, you can do many things with this. It has some of the most widely diverse moves and that'll not only complement its special offensive stat, but for the same time attack bonus as well. I personally think that you're better off just kind of leaving it as it is for what it'll learn naturally. But experiment. Look at the moves that they lose from tutoring, and maybe you might find some good use out of it. The only big thing to really be careful with is the fact that while it does have some great typings, it has a major weakness to ground. And not only that, if you couldn't tell by its size, it's a little bit slow. If you manage to get by all that, Heatran will definitely serve you well, but it can be tricky to learn off as time goes on. They say there's a Titan that is sent to tow the planets and continents with ropes. It is said that it's so powerful that it can only move when one summons it with a body of fire, a body of rock, ice, and steel. When brought together, they bring forth the one that they said that they fear it. And fearing it, it does. Regigigas, or as I like to call it, Reggie Kickass, definitely lives up to that reputation. It is only found in Ultra Moon. Heatran is found in Ultra Sun. Never talked about this one before. I apologize once again in advance, but who cares? When we encounter it in Ultra Moon, level 60, pure normal type, slow start for its signature ability with Zen Headbutt, Revenge, Dizzy Punch, Confuse Ray. Slow start. And temporarily halves the Pokemon's attack and speed for the first 5 turns. This thing is at a major disadvantage. It cannot learn Detect, it cannot learn Protect. The only big thing that it is really known for is the fact that you gotta wait 5 turns and you have to build it up later on in the process. But that does not mean that there is ways how you can counteract with this. The best way on how you can counteract with this, and I've actually been kind of looking more into it, it can learn some moves that can counteract into with that slow starter for that signature ability of it. But what really makes it stand out is the fact that it'll eventually learn its signature move, Crush Grip. This is a 100 accuracy physical normal type move that does hit a damage depending on how power on your current HP over into your maximum HP. Basically, the more HP you have, more than your foe has, the more powerful it'll become. This thing is a monster. And if you know how to properly use this, it is regarded as probably one of the most powerful normal types you'll find. But like with the Pokemon slacking, it has an unfortunate way of having to deal with a little bit of some nerfs. If you manage to figure out how to deal with that slow start ability, then you got nothing to worry about in the process, okay? So, good luck. Try to catch as many if you can. It is very powerful to say the least. Okay, I actually had to cut away in there for a moment because I had to deal with a bit of a quick situation. But let's just try and get this over with and shut up about it. So, like I said, Heatran is a very good Pokemon, but unfortunately it's held back by the fact that it has a major weakness to ground. And that ultimate move, Magma Storm, doesn't come until a little bit later on down the road. But that does not mean that it is useless and you should probably just discard it from there. I like this thing. It's just annoying how to properly use it. That's the real trick. Okay. So basically what I'm going to hope to go for is try to wither this thing down as much as I can. And whoa! Okay, I think that's about as good as I'm going to get from there. That actually worked out a little bit better than I anticipated. Especially since I thought it was going to take a little bit more than what it was meant to go for, but I choose not to question it. So, here we go. Let's go after the Heatran, and let's have a little bit of some fun, shall we? Okay. So far, I've actually been having some pretty good luck with catching some of these legendary Pokemon. I've actually been taking majority of them. It's taking me like less than 5 minutes to catch. So that's not gonna last. So okay. So I guess for the time being, let us go and take a quick break, and let's go out under another legendary Pokemon. So before we do that, there are special Pokemon that can be given to you by bringing in both version exclusives to one game and go through the wormhole. If I recall correctly, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 5 Pokemon that are like this. So what I'm going to do is, until such time from when I get the other version exclusive Pokemon captured from the Ultra Moon version that I have from on my end, I'll be taking care of that off screen on my own time. So, I guess for now, on to the next legendary Pokemon. Okay, so by the looks of it, I think we have time for one more legendary, and then we'll call quits for this first part. I wasn't even paying attention for what sound that was, but I may have a hunch. In fact, like I said, I think I may have a hunch as for who this is. So just playing it safe. Let's get to it. I've already saved. They say that a bird that sprouts wings of flames brings those hope to those that gaze upon its beloved wings of power. It is also said that it roams through the worlds, seeking out powerful foes, but few have ever survived and lived to tell its tale. Moltres is not that kind of Pokemon, but I still digress nonetheless. When you encounter it, level 60, Fire Flying type, pressure for the ability, Ancient Power, Flamethrower, Air Slash, Sunny Day. This is a rather threatening Pokemon. That Sunny Day Flamethrower combination makes this thing a household name. Especially oriented Pokemon, and holy crap, can this thing kick butt, take names. The biggest thing that I have to say you should probably do once you catch this thing, stock it with a couple more different TMs, or maybe even looking into what I can learn through tutoring. I have to say, I have a bit of a soft spot here for Moltres. It is widely regarded as one of the most powerful Pokemon from its time, but when the physical special split happened, and even some of the later generations that came by after it was first appeared, it got a bit nerfed. That doesn't mean that it's useless. I like this thing. But if you really want to have a really good Moltres that knows how to not only get the job done, but burn your Pokemon in their places, give this thing Hurricane, and also teach it Solar Beam. And yes, it can learn Solar Beam. Hey, with that Sunny Day, you don't have to worry about ever having to deal with charging up with the Solar Beam. Plus, boost into that Fire type. But that's about where the real positives end. It has, unfortunately, a quad weak to Rock. I think you might be seeing where I'm going with this. I like this thing more than most, and I definitely wish that it would appear better. But we're about a generation away before it even gets to that. Now, I have to say, I love this background music for the legendary birds. It's so inviting, and it definitely brings in a little bit of some nostalgia from the original games. Not much for me, though, because I'm not a big Gen 1 fan. I'm a little bit on the brushing it off my shoulder kind of person. And holy crap, that was bad. Maybe I should try going for Bite instead. There we go. And, ancient power. I'm just kind of fearing that staff buff at this point. Okay, so let's start chucking the balls in it. And then we'll carry on our way. I honestly thought if I caught it, I would be all like, whoop! We'll just chuck the two. Oh, well. So, let's boogie. Or I guess in this case, flame on. Ugh, there's that staff buff. That's something I'm usually never looking forward to. Okay! I actually got done with this in about a few minutes, so I have to say, I'm pretty content with this. And if you're also wondering for why the levels are a little bit different from before, I was doing another episode in between such times for when I'm going after the legendary Pokemon. So, I guess with that all done, that'll be it for the first part of our legendary hunting in the Ultra Wormholes. Next time, we continue on with part 2 and see what more legendary Pokemon are going to be in store. So, before I go, I wanted to say that I will eventually kind of switch up my team a little bit. So I can go after certain Pokemon that we'll be finding through what are called version get-togethers. But I'm pretty sure that I told you about that once, because I'm actually recording these separately from day to day as they go by. Because work has been all over the place, and of course, I'm doing other recordings, I have other projects. I think you can see where I'm going with this. So, we'll see you guys next time for more Legendary World Hopping. See you guys then.